Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a great and wonderful week. So, hey you all, thanks for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Again, hope you are very, very well. Before I get started today, and thanks for those who are starting to join here, let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from today. I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida, but today I'm in Orlando, Florida. So right up the street, basically. But before I get started today, welcome, welcome. Thanks again for those who are starting to join here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Before I get started today, I wanted to remind you this is the last week to get your tickets. If you are coming to my second annual Growth, Mindset, and Self-Care Summit, that's so crazy, next Friday. That's insane. This year's gone by too fast, y'all. Okay, so it is next Friday, October 24th, in Atlanta. You can register at mindsettrainingsummit.com. Again, that's mindsettrainingsummit.com. I'll put it also in the comments here, even though unfortunately I apologize for my LinkedIn family here because I don't know, it doesn't want to ever go to LinkedIn. It only goes to Facebook and YouTube for some reason. But nonetheless, you can use the code BWE100, BW100 to get $100 off your ticket. Again, this is the last week to get your tickets. We are not selling tickets at the door. I love y'all, but we're not selling tickets at the door because we need our accounts for a lot of different activities and the food and all that good stuff, right? So mindsettrainingsummit.com is where you can go to get registered. It is a full day event. I am really, really looking forward to meeting some of you all in person, especially some of you that have been on Mental Health Moment for years. I feel like I always see you all in the comments. Looking forward to seeing you all. It's going to be a great day. I'm really excited. It's going to be a great day, a day of transformation, a day of relaxation, learning, fellowship, laughing. We got to laugh too, right? And connecting with one another, because that's at the end of the day what it's really about, right? And living better lives and becoming a better version of who we are. So I'm so excited again to be hosting in person this year. For some of you came last year it was my first event last year, but it was virtual. But this year it is in person again in Atlanta. Friday, October 24th, full day event. Mindsettrainingsummit.com is where you can go to register, or this QR code hopefully should work on the screen here as well. So hope to see you all there. If you are brand new to Mental Health Moment, if this is your first Mental Health Moment, welcome. Mental Health Moment is all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are, so you can essentially work on becoming not just the best version of who you are for you, but showing up powerfully for you and for the people around you. Right? Because I promise you all, when you start to incorporate the self-care, when you really start to work on your mental wellness, not only are you helping you are helping the people that are surrounding you, coworkers, friends, family members, your next door neighbor, maybe, right? Like you're helping people around you too. So that's why it's important for us to make these changes here. But again, let me know in the comments here where you're tuning in from today. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So today's mental health moment is an important one. I think we all need to, especially for those note takers, jot some notes down. But I think we all need to really take a step back, especially this time of year, because we're heading into the holidays. For those of you who celebrate the holidays, even if you don't officially celebrate the holidays, it's still a whole lot of holiday madness going on around us. It can get into just a very stressful time. So what we're going to do before all that starts, which is literally next month, which is crazy, is we're going to work on ourselves, right? We're going to work on resetting and calming our nervous systems, which is really important because it's very easy, you all. I promise you, it's very easy to get caught up in the fight or flight, like where you're just all revved up. What's next? What's tomorrow? What I got to do? What's going on in the news, what's going on in the world, like what's going on with your best friend or your whomever in your life. Like it's very easy to get caught up in all that. And then we don't take care of ourselves. So today I'm going to give you 3 tips today. So again, if you're my note takers out there, I know some of you will be like, I'm jotting down some notes. This is a good day to take notes. But 3 tips things that you can try to work on really thinking about calming your nervous system, because some things that happen to us are just not within our control, which we know. But what you can do is be intentional about getting your mind and your body back into a calm state. That is something it takes practice, but when you get to that mindset to say, okay, I know there's a gazillion things going on around me that are stressful, but I am going to decide to work on taking care of myself, my mind, my body, my soul, all the things, then that is where life becomes slightly easier. And hey, for those who are starting to join here, Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Okay, so because if you don't know me, I really strongly believe in things that don't take a whole lot of time, because we're all busy, right? We're all busy. Well, we are inundated, flooded with information, busy, busy, busy. So some of these tips today are things that you can do in less than 90 seconds purposely. We have to, well, one of the things before I share the tips with you today, I want you to remember is that not everything has to take long, huge amounts of time to help your mental health and your wellness. There are things you can do. You have to be consistent with it, but there are things you can do that take a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, a minute, right? Like, and it has such a huge impact. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, but you have to essentially insert it into your practice for your well-being, right? That's the key. That's the hardest part. It's not that, because we think sometimes wrongly, like we need all this time to take care of yourself. And it's like, well, not really. It's more like a mindset shift to make sure you're incorporating these things in your life. Okay, so first thing, I've been doing some research, y'all. So I live in a world, as you know, some of you know already who I am. I'm a psychologist by training, a speaker, author, and I'm always trying to learn different ways to better personally too, mind, body, spirit, right? So, and I do research for you all too, because I'm like, okay, what can I teach you all, right? So I've been learning more about how it's like when you get very stressed out, your vision, you don't even realize this sometimes, your vision becomes very narrow. So apparently there's some type of biological response where like whatever's going on in your life right now, life happens, right? We have stressful days, and it's very easy to just get caught up in almost like tunnel vision. Like you're so focused because you're stressed. So one of the things to work on, again, releasing our stress and calming ourselves, is that, and you could do this again for less than 90 seconds, is you focus on one particular area in the room that you're in. So you really focus on that particular area, and then slowly you start to become aware of the room around you, right? So let's say, well, right now I'm in a hotel room, but if I were just to look and like just focus on the wall ahead of me and just be focused, and then slowly with my peripheral vision become aware of the rest of the room. And what you do, a couple of things, what you do when you practice something like this is that you work on resetting yourself. You work on the goal, you all like says, just to reduce the stress in your body. So you can work on reducing the cortisol. You can work on releasing the tension in your muscles. A lot of times we don't even realize it, but our bodies are tense. When you allow yourself to relax, though, you'll realize sometimes that you're like, oh, I didn't even know, like, your shoulders were tense, or wherever you tense. We tense our bodies in different ways depending on who you are. But once you, again, take that mindful moment, you start to say, okay, your body and your brain will be like, okay, we're in a safe space. Like, let's calm down. Let's observe what's going on around us, right? Like, and it's called an eye soften. And basically it's like a vision reset, right? So you can write that down. So for those who are taking notes, number one, the tip of the day, we're talking about, if you're just not joining, we're talking about how do you calm your nervous system in 90 seconds or less. So I'm giving you 3 tips today. And if you're brand new to Mental Health Moment, we are here every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. If you're coming back in and you're a regular, welcome back as well. And again, we usually, I know for a lot of you all, you're taking some notes. So these are things, again, for you to incorporate and for you to try, right? There's some things on mental health moment, you're like, no, like that's not what I want to incorporate. All good. And then some things you'll find, you'll try, you're like, oh, okay, I really like this. Let me add this into my wellness toolbox, if you will, for yourself. And I do this all the time too, personally, you all. I love to try different things related to wellness. And then, like all of us, there's just things that we try and we're like, wow, we really, you're like, wow, I really like this, right? One of the things I tried before I go into the second tip, I'll share with you. Okay. One of the things I will share that I love, this actually is good for your nervous system too. This wasn't on my list of tips to give you all today, but I'm going to share it with you. It's called sound therapy, for those of you who haven't tried it before. And I'm trying to think how many times I've done it, at least like maybe 3 or 4 times. I absolutely love it. There is a gentleman, excuse me, his name is Joel Myers, who I was introduced to, by the way, as an aside, who is a sound therapist. He's actually coming to the summit, the Growth Mindset and Self-Care Summit. I'm so excited to have him there with us. So he'll be doing a mini session there with us, which is gonna be so cool. But essentially, if you haven't heard of it before, there's different ways to do sound therapy. But for some of you, you might have seen it on like YouTube or something like that. There's like these, I think they call them like singing bowls, and then the sound therapist will do certain things for different frequencies and sounds to be happening in the room around you, right? And it's just a way to relax your body. And I could talk for like 3 hours on it, but I won't. I'm giving you like the short version of it. But that's something else that can calm your nervous system as well. There's ways to do sound therapy virtually. There's ways to do it in person. There may be someone or not near your, where you live, or even like you can watch different things on YouTube. Like there's a lot of different ways. But again, some people are like, nope, this is not for me. And some people are like, this is the best thing ever. So again, it's just a matter of, the biggest thing I want to share before I share the other 2 tips with you all today is you have to find the thing for you that lowers your stress level. You may already know what it is and you're like, yep, I know my go-to. Please do your best to engage in that particular thing as often as possible to get your mind and body back to a calm state. Or you may be in a state right now where you're like, you know what? I used to know what that was, but we change, right? Over time, my interests have changed. I used to do whatever you used to do, walking or something you used to do that helped with your stress level. Now you're like, I'm not really into that as much anymore. I want to try something else, right? Then you become open to finding something else, right? But the most important thing again is thinking about what is it that calms your mind and your body and your nervous system. So, and let me know in the chat too, actually, I'm going to go to tip number 2, but let me know in the chat too for you. Hey, welcome. Let me know in the chat too for you, like, what is it that you already know? Maybe you need to do more of, or maybe you're already doing it and it just works really well for you to calm your nervous system. This could be something that you physically do. So again, like I said, sometimes it's walking, sometimes it's biking, or it's swimming, or it's yoga, or whatever it could be, like something physically that you do to calm your body down. Or there's also things you can do mentally to calm your mind and your body down as well, right? Mentally meaning like meditation or prayer or affirmations or like those types of things that we work on saying, okay, let me calm my mind and body down. So let me know in the comments. Share what you have been doing, right? That's working for you, because the reason why I like when you all share too is because other people might look at what you've said and go, you know what? I need to try that, or I need to do more of that. Maybe you do sound therapy already, or maybe you've been to a sound therapist, right? But whatever it is for you, let me know in the comments what that is. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to tip number 2. So 2 more tips to go. So the second tip I will share, and this is something I love to do. I'm trying to think when I started. I don't remember when I started doing this. I think I was taught, I don't know, a while back, but it's called grounding, which you may have heard that term before. And it's basically where you work on, so I live in Florida, so I kind of have the benefit of a beach close by, but you don't have to have a beach close by. It could be a beach, it could be by a lake, a park, river, wherever. It could be outside of your house, like wherever. Ideally, if you could be on grass, or even if you're just in your house and you just take off your shoes and you just mentally think about, it's called grounding, but like kind of connecting yourself to the earth, if you will, and just releasing the tension from your body, right? There's a lot of different ways to do this, but I like grass, or like on a beach, like sandy beach or something like that, but it doesn't have to be that. The goal is with this one though, is just to think about when you plant your feet, again, try to take off your shoes, take off your socks. When you plant yourself firmly in whatever space you're in, maybe even if you're at, like if you work in an office setting, let's say, wherever you're at, plant your feet firmly and try to work on physically or mentally thinking about releasing the stress from your body, right? Like taking the deep breaths. I talk a lot, I'm a Health Moment, about taking the deep breath, but doing those types of things where you're like, let me try to ground, let me try to release the stress out of your body, right? Because otherwise, stress can get stuck in your body, or stress can get stuck in our mind. That's why sometimes we go through times where we just think about the same thing over and over and over and over, right? We have to try to like move past it, process through it. The biggest thing is because what works for you all, like what you're putting in the chat, works for you may not work for the next person, and what works for your friend or your sibling or whomever doesn't work for you, right? So that's why it's like try different things, so for sure, be committed right, to the thing, to say, okay, let me work on calming my nervous system. Because again, we can't always control what is happening around us. We just cannot. But you can work on trying to control your nervous system. What I've found is a lot of times do you remember when you were a kid? For some of us, I mean, I'm just saying, for some of us, a long time ago, very long time ago. And for some of us, it was, I don't know, a couple years ago, right? We're all different ages here. It's all good, no matter what. We're all young at heart, right? But the point is, when you were a kid, you played and you had fun, and maybe you went to a playground and you went on a swing, or you played. You didn't necessarily have to think about the things like we do as adults. But even as an adult, you can still play. Like, please play. Please find ways. If you're at a park, like you said, swinging or whatever it is to bring you joy and play, and like actively think about reducing the stress in your mind and body that comes about. Like I can't control everything that happens in your life, right? You can't control everything that happens in your life, but we can say, okay, let's make this intention to work on releasing, again, the cortisol. It's so funny. I was on last year when I released one of my last books. Last year I was on a podcast tour, and I remember, I don't know why, y'all, but a lot of the hosts were like, how do we reduce our cortisol? Because we were talking a lot about stress management. My book is about burnout prevention and holistic self-care. So I never forget. I had so many hosts like, how do we reduce our cortisol? But even what I'm talking about today with you all, like, these are examples, right? Everybody who doesn't want to reduce their cortisol, like our stress hormone. Of course, we want to release that out of our body. It causes weight gain and all sorts of things that most of us do not want. But again, there's a lot of ways, but it's taking the mindset shift, you all. I promise you that's step one, being aware and taking the mindset shift to say, okay, I am going to work on this. Like, you are important enough, you are worthy enough to say, okay, I don't have to be holding on to this stress in my mind and body. And always an asterisk, I got to put on everything I'm saying. A lot of things that I teach on Mental Health Moment, you can try. For some of you, it's going to work great. For some of you, it's not enough, meaning there's just stuff. Like, we all have our stuff, mental stuff or trauma or whatever it is. And you may need the help of a coach or a mental health professional to sort of get through the hump of whatever it is you're going through, right? So I never want to minimize. Like, there's just some things that I'm like, taking some deep breath is not going to like cure what's going on with you. Like, so let me just say that. Little PSA, therapy is okay. Please go to therapy if you need to go to therapy. It's all good. I know there's a stigma, but it's all good. It means you're strong. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It means you're strong. It means you're working on your resilience and you're working on getting through. Okay, I'm doing my PSA now. For the record, there's a lot of different ways to incorporate sound for healing. So even like you were saying, like, I mean, there's so much out there, you all. Listening to birds chirping, like you can literally be in, like physically in nature, listening to birds chirping, or if for whatever reason, for some of you in the colder climates coming up here, if y'all get snowed in, I don't know anything about that life. I'm sorry. I live in Florida. I can't, I can't do the snow. But if you are in a place where you're snowed in, for example, and you're like, okay, I clearly can't go outside because I'm snowed in, you can always do these things at home, right? Or from your cell phone. Like we have so much access nowadays to just hearing the sounds, like the calming things. Like I said, it could be physically if you're able to get outside or not, right? We can listen to those things or watch those things or whatever you're able to do mentally as well. I'm going to go to my third tip in a minute, you all, but I did want, yes, to like a huge, like big star for today to remind you to make sure you incorporate some sort of play in your life. You are allowed to play just because you're not a child anymore. Like find a way to play. What is it for you that brings you joy? What is it for you? Like life, I just, I just strongly believe life is not meant for us to be stressed out every day, all day. Like that's not it. Right. And I'm not saying we're not gonna, we all have our trials and our tribulations and the stresses that just, it is what it is. But also, I really, really strongly believe you all, like our lives are also meant to, for us to have joy, also meant for us to play, also meant for us to have fun, even in the midst of the hard times too, which it's a really hard thing to do. But even if find like glimmers, just little times of joy, those are important too. So for those who are new to Mental Health Moment, normally this is around 20 minutes, but it's all good. I love when you all are interactive and I love reading your comments. So we're a little bit over today, but it's all good. Okay. So third tip, this is kind of a fun one, I think. Easy thing to do, again, because we're talking about, if you're just now tuning in, how to calm your nervous system in like 90 seconds or less. Also, no, it's not gonna be calm forever. I wish there's no like magic button that we press that calms our nervous system and just stays calm every single second, obviously, right? Life happens. But when you know you need to do it like a reset, mind and body reset, these are some things to think about. So the last thing, it's called a cross body pressure reset. Okay, that's long. For those of you taking notes, cross body pressure reset. And all that means is that you're basically working on giving yourself a hug. So you're going to take your right hand to your left shoulder, you take your left hand over your right shoulder, like just like this, right? And you're going to hold yourself, not too hard, like don't harm yourself, okay? But you're going to like just hold yourself, like give yourself a hug for 20 to 30 seconds. Okay? And take the deep breaths during that time. You're sending messages to your brain to say, okay, right now in this second, no matter what is going on around you in the world and on social media and all the things you're seeing, but in those 20 to 30 seconds, you're taking the deep breaths and your brain is understanding you are safe in that moment, right? Like you're safe, you are rested, you are relaxed, you are in a state of calm, like again, 20 to 30 seconds, right? So you're like literally just like holding on to yourself again, please not too tight, you all, but like you would give yourself a hug. Okay. And the other thing that this does is it really gets you out of that fight or flight, because again, I get it, you all, I get it. Like it's very easy for us to get caught up in the next thing. A lot of us are juggling stuff. We just are. There's things that are stressful. You get a phone call or you get a text or you get an email, something happened you didn't expect. Like it's just a lot, right? So again, think about giving yourself that reset, getting out of fight or flight mode temporarily, getting into more of a rested, relaxed state of mind. This also, when you do things like this and just hold it again for 20 to 30 seconds, it also works on releasing oxytocin, which is basically a feel good hormone, right? So we were talking earlier about how to reduce our cortisol. Yay, because we don't need all that stress, inflammation, and all that in our bodies and minds. So reducing the cortisol and increasing the feel-good hormones. Like if you gave someone that you really cared about a hug, like there's a release that happens, and you can do that for yourself as well. To really just think about like holding yourself, giving yourself a hug. If you believe in affirmations, you could do some affirmations for you, taking some deep breaths for you, like all those sorts of things. But again, we're talking 20 to 30 seconds long. So this is not something that takes a huge amount of time. But it's something that, again, when you put these types of things into practice, I always say you're training your brain. Wrote the mindset training series, right? But you are training your brain on how is it that you can work on resetting and recharging. I'm always like, what day am I on? What am I doing here? No, but when so I have a private practice that I'm at a part of the time, and then I'm running around doing a lot of other things too. But when I am at the practice, I've worked with all ages, and what's always fascinating to me is how just seeing some around a lot of kids too, and just seeing how it's just so easy. It's so instinctual, like for kids to get into like, I want to play. Like they see the toys or whatever in my office, and they're like, I want to play. Like, can I play? Can I play? Right? They're always looking to play because that's how they express themselves in development. And then as an adult, okay, maybe we're not sitting down playing with some toys and some Legos, but it's like we forget. Like we forget that like we got to play too. Like have fun. Like find ways to have fun. There's free ways to have fun, expensive ways to have fun. There's fun that takes, short amount of time, fun that takes a long amount of time. Like there's plenty of options. It is mostly about our mindset though, and starting and understanding that we are worthy of self-care. You deserve to be emotionally healthy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have joy. You deserve to have days of rest. You deserve to have relaxation. You deserve all these things. Okay. But first, starts with our mindset of understanding that that is true for you, because it is. Someone said, where are you located? I am located in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. However, today I'm in Orlando. I had to think about it, y'all, because I'm usually in some other city or another. Next week, where will I be located? In Atlanta. So I hope to see you again as I wrap up here at the Growth Mindset and Self Care Summit. That'll be Friday, October 24th, which is next week, which is crazy to me. Like these weeks have just flown by, you all. But it is Friday, October 24th in Atlanta. It's an all-day event. It is in person. Last year was virtual. Super excited to meet some of you all there. You can go to mindsettrainingsummit.com to register. This is the last week to get your tickets. We will not be selling tickets at the door. I love you all so much, but we just can't with the different activities we have and food and all that kind of thing. So we're not selling tickets at the door, but this is the last week to get your tickets. So again, mindsettrainingsummit.com. For BWE family, you can use the code BWE100 to get $100 off the ticket. And it's gonna be a great time. And I'm just so excited. Okay, so I'm wrapping up here. So if you need me, you can always reach out, drnekeshiahammond.com, or you can always connect at Dr. Nekeshia Hammond, or anywhere pretty much on social media. I'm usually on there sharing something or another related to mental health and wellness. That's just an area that I've been passionate about my whole life. But again, thanks for joining today. I will be back. Be blessed. Have an amazing week. Practice your self-care. Practice all these things we talked about today. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.